Do you know what? Retrochrome kinda sucks. So a few months ago, I was ordering some stuff from the film photography project and decided to throw 2 rolls of Retrochrome into the order to try it out. So Retrochrome, for anyone who isn't aware, is an expired 400 ISO Ektachrome film that the film photography project somehow managed to get a lot of, and then they rolled it down into 24 exposure rolls for suckers like me to buy. So, according to the film photography project, the film was actually originally called the Kodak Ektachrome 2253, and it was originally used for monitoring and testing equipment in government facilities, like high-speed recording of weapon tests and rockets and other really cool shit. You can find a lot more information on Retrochrome in the blog post from the film photography project. I will link it down below if I remember to. So, learning this, I decided to load up a roll and go plane spotting at Dublin Airport. So I've shot the film and developed and scanned it, and looking at the images, I'm honestly kinda disappointed. Like, I was expecting grain and low saturation as part of being an expired film would give, but this is a bit much even for me. The sample photos I showed didn't seem to have this level of grain, which is honestly insane. Now, while I was at the airport, I also shot a roll of Provia 100 to compare to this. Now, I know this isn't a fair comparison at all in any way, shape or form, but it is what it is. And I also shot some Delta 400 there for another completely useless comparison. And if we look at the two of them, you can see that the Provia is way sharper, but it's a 100 ISO fresh slide film. So the idea that it's obviously like way sharper and saturated, of course it's going to be that way. It's not an expired film. making this comparison is honestly kind of silly. So the only reason I'm really showing you these differences is not to do a comparison, but to give you a kind of reference point so that if you do decide to buy Retrochrome, you know what you're getting into. When it comes to this film and the grain, I think it might be exacerbated by my scanning setup. So I'm using a D850 with a scanner Nikkor lens at the moment, and it does tend to make the scans much grainier, mostly due to how the scanning lens renders the grain and the Bayer filter errors during scanning. Now, I talked about this effect in my pixel shift scanning video, so go check that out if you want to get more information on how digital camera sensors can actually exacerbate grain during scanning. Even with that, the grain on this is as strong as the Ektachrome P1600 film I shot a while back, which is actually a 400 ISO film designed to be pushed 2 stops in development. So this Retrochrome is some grainy stuff. As for the colors, honestly, I'm not mad about it. I can see why people like this look, but it just isn't for me. That high contrast desaturated look just simply isn't my jam. Now, when it comes to film and how I edit my scans, I love higher contrast with deep saturated colors in my pictures, but not quite as much as photographers with growing families. Now, I did buy this film knowing I would not get that look, and shooting it hasn't changed my mind on whether I like that look or not. So it does look like I won't be shooting this film again. Now, I do have one more roll to shoot, which I plan to shoot in Japan later this year for fun, but I'm probably not going to buy any more. But that means there's a little bit more Retrochrome out there for ye to buy if you want to. And I think with that, it's time for this video to end. I'll see you next time.